This week was a big week for the stoners. President Trump promised to support the rights of states that have legalised marijuana. Nice pick there too. I guess that explains some of his recent tweeting. But Trump's decision would have been welcomed where marijuana has already been legalised. Places like Alaska, California, Colorado, Massachusetts, Maine, Nevada, Oregon, Vermont, Washington DC, and the Australian Green Party route. And there'll be more states to come because marijuana legalisation has now gotten approval of 64%, with even majority approval from Republicans. And that makes sense, because there are some obvious benefits from legalisation, like eliminating this many arrests for marijuana possession. We are talking over 500,000 a year, accounting for over 5% of all arrests, with one marijuana possession arrest every minute. Legalisation also helps the economy. In 2015, legal weed created 18,000 full-time jobs in Colorado and added about $2.5 billion to the state economy. Although that analysis might not be completely objective, but still, they reckon every dollar spent on legal pot in Colorado generates $2.13 to $2.40 of economic activity. Then there are the health benefits. Less prescriptions needed for all kinds of ailments. And note that pain column on the bottom there. A 2017 study found these states reported 23% fewer hospitalizations for opioid addiction and 13% fewer for opioid overdoses. But what about the negatives of legalizing marijuana? Are states like Colorado out of control? Well, Colorado is the state which has had marijuana legalised the longest, and about 17% of the people there now smoke it, which is twice the national average. And 6% of people smoke it almost every day, compared to 22% of near-daily drinkers. But is it spreading? Underage use in Colorado is above the national average, but it's actually dropped since marijuana was legalised and kids have been forced to start dealing with people asking for ID. And that's a good thing, because marijuana is not harmless. 9% of those who use marijuana will become dependent on it, including 17% of teens who use it, which is why people worry so much about the teen usage. But don't forget, 15% of drinkers become dependent on alcohol, so there is that. What about crime? Does crime become more of a problem in marijuana states? To be honest, it's too soon to know. The results are kind of mixed. The number of drivers in fatal car crashes who tested positive for marijuana has certainly jumped up, though, by 145%. We are talking about 115 fatal crashes in 2016. That's about 20% of Colorado's fatal crashes. And it sounds like a real problem until you realise that drug tests can't tell you when you took the drug. Traces of marijuana use from weeks earlier can give you a positive result. So that is kind of unclear too. But I'll tell you what is clear. Legalisation is definitely messing with drug crime. Marijuana seizures at the Mexican border in 2015 were less than half what they were only 6 years earlier. The marijuana smuggling industry is dying. Not that I want to suggest that all the deadly drug violence has gone, because it turns out there have been 20 marijuana-related deaths since 2010. And they're all from botched SWAT raids involving suspected marijuana dealers. So it'd be great for legalisation to finish them up as well. So, 6 years on, it seems like there really wasn't that much to worry about with legalised marijuana after all.
Cannabis-infused beer was just approved for sale.